Once upon a time, in a kingdom wrapped in emerald, forests and shimmering rivers that danced under the golden sun, there was a princess named Elara. But she was not your typical princess draped in silks and jewels. No, Elara was a breath of fresh air, a curious soul who embraced the world with open arms. Her gentle spirit was reflected in the way she tended to her castle gardens, where vibrant flowers bloomed like a painter's palette, and where she could often be found, engaging in delightful conversations with the chirping birds, their melodies intertwining with her laughter. Elara's afternoons were spent in blissful exploration. She would wander through the sprawling gardens, her fingers brushing against the petals, absorbing the wisdom of old scrolls that whispered secrets of the past, or find solace by the river, her gaze fixed on the playful fish leaping out of the water as if to greet her. Each moment was a treasure, each experience a story waiting to unfold. The people of her kingdom adored her, not just for her beauty, but for her heart. She treated everyone with equal respect. Noble knights in their shining armor or humble farmers with sun-kissed skin, all were met with her warm smile and kind words. Yet there was an enigma that set Elara apart from the rest. Unlike many, she harbored no fear of the dark that cloaked the kingdom at night, nor did she shy away from the storms that rumbled ominously overhead. Strange shadows that danced through the forest intrigued her rather than frightened her, igniting a spark of wonder within her. What captivated Elara most were the tales of a legendary dragon that resided in the northern mountains, far beyond the well-trodden paths of the villages. The villagers spoke of him in hushed tones, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and awe. They said his wings spanned the sky like dark storm clouds, capable of blotting out the sun, while his fiery breath could melt the strongest steel, leaving nothing but ash in its wake. His roar was said to echo through the valleys, shaking the very foundations of the mountains, a sound that could send shivers down the bravest of spines. Parents with furrowed brows would warn their children, "Do not wander too far, or the dragon will find you." But for Elara, these tales were not warnings. They were invitations to adventure. The dragon represented the unknown, a challenge waiting to be embraced. In her heart, she knew that to understand the world fully, she must seek out the mysteries that lay beyond the horizon. And perhaps one day, she would meet the creature of legend face to face. The second day, she reached the river, wide and roaring with rushing water. The stones were slippery, the current strong. But Elara used her courage and wits. She built a bridge of fallen logs, steadying each one with her lantern's rope, and made it safely across. On the third day, she climbed the rocky path of the mountain itself. The air grew thin and cold. Her legs trembled with exhaustion, yet still she pressed on, whispering to herself, "If he has been alone for so long, I cannot turn back now." Finally, as the sun set behind the jagged peaks, she reached the mouth of the dragon's cave. It was enormous, dark and deep, like the opening to another world. Smoke curled softly from within. Her hands shook. For the first time, fear whispered in her heart. But Elara held her lantern high and stepped inside. And there he was, the dragon. He was larger than she had ever imagined, his scales glittering like emeralds and gold. His wings were folded at his side, each one the size of a ship's sail. His eyes burned like twin suns, fierce yet filled with something far deeper, sorrow. When he saw Elara, he rose slowly, his great claws scraping against the stone. The cave trembled with the sound of his growl. Ilara's heart pounded, but she did not flee. Instead, she bowed low, her lantern glowing softly at her side. She said in the gentlest voice, "Great dragon, I am Princess Ilara. I have not come with sword or spear. I have come to listen." The dragon blinked. Never in his long life had a human spoken to him this way. He lowered his head, his fiery breath curling in the air, and at last he spoke. His voice was like thunder echoing through the mountains, yet heavy with sadness. "Why are you here, child of man? Have you come to curse me as the others have? Have you come to remind me that I am nothing but a beast in their eyes?" Ilara stepped closer, though the heat of his breath warmed her skin. "No," she whispered. "I came because I found the truth. You were once our guardian, our friend, and I do not believe you are a monster." The dragon was silent for a long while. Then, with a voice that rumbled like the earth itself, he told her his story. He spoke of ancient days when he flew across the skies to protect the kingdom, when people cheered his name. He spoke of battles fought to defend the rivers and forests. But he also spoke of how slowly people grew fearful. Their cheers turned into screams. Their stones replaced their songs. "So I hid," he finished bitterly. "Better to be feared from afar than hated up close." Ilara's eyes filled with tears. She reached out her small hand and placed it gently on one of his scales. "Then let me be the first to call you what you truly are," she said softly. "Friend." The dragon's mighty eyes glistened. For the first time in centuries, he felt warmth not from his fire, but from another heart. From that day on, Ilara returned often to the mountains. She brought him bread, fruit, and stories from the kingdom. In return, the dragon shared ancient tales of the skies, of stars unseen by human eyes, and valleys filled with forgotten magic. Slowly, the bond between them grew unbreakable. But peace does not last forever. One fateful season, a neighboring kingdom raised an army. They marched toward Ilara's land, burning fields and threatening the villages. The people were terrified, for their soldiers were few. When Ilara heard this news, she rushed to the dragon's cave. With tears in her eyes, she begged, "Oh, Guardian, will you help us? They will destroy everything." The dragon looked at her for a long moment. Then, with a deep, thundering breath, he unfurled his wings. "Climb onto my back, princess. Tonight they will remember who I am." Together, they soared into the sky. The kingdom below watched in awe as the dragon descended upon the invading army. His roar shook the heavens. His wings cast shadows across the fields. The soldiers dropped their weapons in terror and fled, never to return. But the dragon did not breathe fire upon them, nor destroy them in rage. He showed his strength, yes, but also his mercy. And upon his back sat the princess, glowing like a star in the night. From that day forward, the people no longer called him a monster. They called him the Guardian. Ilara grew into a wise and beloved queen, ruling with kindness, courage, and the lessons she had learned from her dragon friend. And the dragon, he never again hid in the shadows. He watched over the kingdom from the skies, not as a feared beast, but as a protector and a friend. And so, the legend of the princess and the dragon was no longer a tale of fear, but of trust, bravery, and the healing power of understanding.